So this is issue number, God, I've forgotten, but it's one of the best ones so far. It's probably the last one I'm going to do because honestly, it's reminding me of all the problems when I do these videos. But anyway, issue number 11, I think it is. Had a guest over the Christmas period. They booked one of our properties for 2 adults and 1 pet. Told me that the 1 pet was very well behaved, was a medium-sized dog. The 2 people were in fact the guest and his mother, coming into the area to remind themselves of their history and visit with relatives that live in the area. Everything sounded fine. We had the first indication of there being an issue when we had a brutally cold night or two. Got down to 0 centigrade, that is, not Fahrenheit. And 2 of our other properties, in fact, froze up. So I tried to reach this guest, couldn't reach him. The phone number that he had in the system was the wrong number. That typically is a red flag to me. So I drove over to the property, knocked on the door, and an older lady came to the door and could not close it more quickly behind her, and to marshal me forwards onto the porch to say good morning. And of course, I asked her if there were any issues with the heating system or with water. She said absolutely not, everything's great, but thanks for coming, very kind of you to come and check. And as she was talking, I could see through the half-moon window that's at the top of the door, and I saw at least 8 or 9 people standing in the kitchen. There were only 2 cars outside. This was at about 9 a.m. in the morning. To me, that clearly indicates that those people, in fact, had spent the night. I went home. I tried to contact this guest. He ignored all contact. I asked him to confirm how many people, please, were staying. I started checking the security cameras and counted 12 people. Most of the vehicles were there every morning before the sun came up. Everyone was there way after the sun went down. The cameras, of course, only indicate imagery when there's movement, so the last time someone leaves a vehicle, it'll send me a picture. The first time someone goes to their vehicle, it'll send me a picture. So I do know that all of the vehicles were parked overnight. All of the guests, therefore, stayed overnight. We finally got a response from him, and he actually foolishly told me in text, thinking it would be outside of the Airbnb system, that he had 3 people that stayed the night, but his sister has a large family and brought a further 9 with her for a visit on Christmas Day, and she brought her 3 dogs. That, of course, confirms the 12 people that I had counted on the cameras and the 4 dogs that I had seen on the cameras. What I think he didn't realize is that we had camera imagery from every single one of the 5 days of their stay. So I knew he had 12 guests, 5 days, and 4 dogs. I contacted Airbnb, asked them what on earth could I do about this. They told me absolutely nothing. If you want to do something, you have to call the local police department. The police department, of course, doesn't want to know unless you have an eviction notice. So Airbnb advised me along the lines of what I was thinking, which is do not cause a ruckus, tell them to get out. Since the end of their stay was only 2 more days, I'd rather have them leave and not know that I know and reduce the risk of damage, which we did. I showed up at 10:30 on the last day of their stay. 10 a.m. is the time they need to vacate the property. At 10:30 they were still packing their vehicles. There was 3 vehicles, there was 12 people, there were 4 dogs. I waited for them to leave. I got middle finger gestures from almost all of the people. Went into the property and found a whole bunch of damage. The front door had been scratched by the dogs wanting to get in. The front door had been scratched on the inside by the dogs wanting to get out. The living room floor was not damaged in any substantial manner. The staircase was torn to pieces. The 2-bedroom floors were scratched like you wouldn't believe. The kitchen doorknobs on all of the cabinets were loose and had been pulled off. There were scratches on the kitchen cabinets. So I contacted Airbnb. I told them we had 10 extra guests that we needed guest fees for, 3 extra dogs that we wanted dogs for, wanted payment for, and of course the damage. They also stole a comforter from one of the beds. They took the dog bowls with them. Before they left, the dog urinated all over one of the beds, and somebody, couldn't tell if it was human or dog, vomited on one of the beds. So they left 8 bags of trash. In that trash were in fact boxes from the air mattresses that they had purchased. So I had absolute proof, of course, of the number of people that stayed the night. We put claims into the system for extra cleaning fees. We put claims into the system for extra guest fees. We put claim into the system for the extra damage. We got the security team involved. The security team confirmed they had everything they needed. They actually did take action against the guest. They removed him from the Airbnb platform and passed the case forwards to the what's called the resolution team so that we would be paid. And to this day, it is now January the 8th. This claim was put in on December the 24th. They guarantee 72 hours response. I've had 5 emails from different people, all telling me that they would respond to me within 48 to 72 hours. The last message was 6 days ago. Still no resolution on any of the issues of any kind. I do in fact have the resolution center telling me that they have none of the images, none of the documents. I had to upload them again for the 3rd time. I put them into the system when the safety team was engaged. I put them into the system via email, and I put them into the resolution center directly. These are 65 images. It took me hours, and the people in the resolution center say they can see nothing. 3 different agents have confirmed that they can see all of the information, and I do not need to keep uploading it. The resolution center people, in fact, have claimed that they can see nothing, and their only questions have been about the damage to the floor. I keep asking them continuously, what about the extra guest fees, etc., and no response. So it is the 8th of January. No, this is not the end of the saga, but I can almost guarantee that the end result will be partial payment for some of the damage and absolutely nothing for any further guest fees. So this is a little premature, this video, but this is an example of the dark side of dealing with Airbnb. It is what you might call an absolute nightmare with no resolution, yet we are all guaranteed $1 million worth of insurance, that all damage, all extra services will be paid for if the guest does not pay. Airbnb took this booking, they're responsible for this booking. This person's identity had supposedly been verified, yet all the information he had in the system was wrong, cannot connect with him. The credit card information he put in the system is wrong, etc., etc., etc. 3 days later, I then start getting death threats, right? So voicemail on my phone, which yes, I've kept, telling me I'm a liar, should not have submitted the claim, and I'm going to burn in hell, and he's going to kill me, and a whole bunch of other things he's going to do to me prior to my death. So this is an example. Airbnb does absolutely nothing to protect you, safeguard you, or help you. They are unresponsive to questions. They make you upload documents 2 or 3 times as they try to avoid the claim. It is now 15 days, 16, 17 days after I first uploaded all the information. They guarantee 72 hours. An awful example of the dark side of Airbnb.